Is BYU the place for you? We surveyed 70 people who attended BYU, and here's what they had to say. So here's our list of 25 reasons you should go to BYU. Number 1, this is one of the best kept secrets at BYU, and one of the not so best kept secrets. So first of all, there's this magazine called The 2 magazine. And this isn't a secret. Everybody knows about it, and everybody makes fun of it because it's hilarious. It's a dating magazine that gives dating ideas, dating charts showing whether or not you should ask her out, date stories gone wrong, a lot of different entertaining material for people who are in the dating scene. So they are all over in every building. They have a little stack of BYU 2 magazines that you should definitely check out if you're ever at BYU, because they are way entertaining, a little cringeworthy, but definitely worth reading at least once. The thing that not so many people know about is that in some BYU newspapers, you can find coupons for free food. This is totally true. It's right before school starts. If you take some of their newspapers and look through them, you'll find a list of coupons that are from local stores that offer free food. So last year they had a free 12-pack of cup of noodles, and they had some chips and some beef jerky, among other things. But that's definitely, if you're going to BYU, you should check that out because free food. Number 2, there are opportunities to serve everywhere on BYU campus. First of all, we have YServe, which is an organization put on by the school that offers you opportunities to serve. They have an office in the Wilk where you can go, you can help knit hats for people, and there are other service projects you can do there, and they'll put on a lot of projects, school-wide that people can be a part of. There's also opportunities, if you like performing, they have the special needs show choir and the special needs ballroom dance that they do. Ballroom is in the summer, show choir, I believe, is in spring or winter, actually. And there's just a lot you can do there. And then besides those 3 specific examples, there's always something to do to serve on campus. You just look it up, check the bulletin boards. There's always some way to get involved and do some service. Number 3, every week there's a devotional or a forum put on by a university. So these are Tuesdays at 11 o'clock. You go to the Marriott Center and they have really cool people address you. We have had Mark Zuckerberg come, members of the first presidency or Quorum of the 12 have come before, and then we have a lot of teachers and other well-known people. We had someone who was pretty high up in politics come once. Just a lot of really interesting people who will reach out to every different field. We've had people come for English, we've had people come for statistics, for health, for dance even. So there's really interesting devotionals that you'll get to see. So definitely, if you go to BYU, be a part of that. Go to the devotionals because you learn a lot and it's fun. Number 4, BYU was organized by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And because of this, they have a huge emphasis on being able to connect secular and spiritual. So if you're in a science class, you will not only be discussing the science of how things work, but you'll also be able to discuss how that connects to the spiritual side of things and really just make connections you wouldn't be able to make in other universities. So that's something really unique about BYU. And this applies to, every course of study. You connect it with spiritual topics. And most classes begin with a prayer. They don't usually end with a prayer, but sometimes they do. And so there's a huge emphasis on keeping it a good place where the Spirit can be present and where you can learn and connect spiritual and secular together. Number 5, something BYU was known for a long time was not selling caffeine on campus. And that has just recently changed. They changed their policy and now caffeinated beverages are being sold on campus. So if you really like Mountain Dew, you can now buy it on campus. Number 6, beginning August 2018, student ID cards double as frontrunner and bus passes. This means that you don't have to pay to take the bus or the frontrunner if you're a BYU student or dependent. So they have some classes in Salt Lake City that you'd have to use the frontrunner to get to. Now you can just tap your card, get on, tap your card, get off, and because you're a student, you don't have to pay anything. Number 7, There are a lot of resources that you can use just by going to BYU. So first of all, there's the BYU library, which is amazing. It has a lot of resources, tons of people who are there to help you answer questions, who specialize in different fields. You also have your teachers. They can direct you on where to look for better things. You have a really good access online to articles that are really helpful in writing papers or just in researching whatever you want to be researching. There's also, if you use your BYU student account, you have access to Wolfram Alpha, which helps a lot with really anything. It's just kind of a know-it-all. So there's a lot of stuff that's just at your disposal if you're going to BYU. So take advantage of that. Number 8, BYU has a lot of really good arts programs. So we have MDT, Music Dance Theater, which is really hard to get into, but is a really good resource if you're planning on becoming a theater actress. It's one of the best in the state because it has an equal emphasis on music, dance, theater instead of focusing more on one or the other. And then we also have a really good ballroom program. In fact, BYU is known for being quite possibly the cheapest place to study ballroom ever because you can learn as a student, and studying ballroom by itself, ballroom dance, is really expensive. But there are a lot of champions that come from BYU. They have a really good BYU ballroom team that tours to Blackpool. It's won several times in a row. Then we've also got a really nice folk dance program we've got a really nice folk dance team as well that performs Christmas around the world every year, which brings in a lot of people. It's very impressive. And there's just a lot of really good theater performances. They have amazing shows that they put on. Just the BYU arts in general are amazing. And so if you can get involved in that, if that's your area, what you really like to do, this is a good place to go. Number 9, if you go to BYU, you're going to be surrounded by people who have high standards. And of course, people have varying standards just anywhere. But at BYU, you have to sign the honor code, which promises that you're not going to swear, you're going to obey the law of chastity, the word of wisdom, you're going to be honest. So really, there's a lot of good things that happen at BYU, things you don't have to worry about running into like you might on other campuses. So hearing swearing even is very uncommon. If you drink, you will be expelled. There's just a lot of really good people around you because everyone is striving to live up to this honor code. Number 10, people at BYU are generally super happy. So when you pass people, they'll be smiling at you. This isn't always the case, but it's a generally friendly place to be. And people are approachable. It's a good place to make friends and to be social if that's what you really like to do. Number 11, there are a lot of student jobs that are offered through BYU. So you can work at a lot of the restaurants. We have the Cougar Eat, which has a lot of different restaurants. We've got the Cannon Center, which is basically a buffet. There's custodial jobs are also pretty common. You can work custodial for any of the buildings. There's also grounds where you're working, mowing the lawns, pulling the weeds, helping the campus look really nice. There's also some MTC jobs working in the Missionary Training Center that you have to work at BYU in order to get. So that's the MTC mailroom, the MTC cafeteria. There may be some others. They actually have a list of student jobs that are featured. That's just brushing the surface. There are so many more jobs. So they have a list of student jobs that they feature each week that they'll send to you in your email, depending on what your preferences are once you are a student. So there's really, if you're wanting a job while you're going to school, it's not hard to find one because they have so many options. Number 12, most classes start with a devotional or prayer just to get the spirit invited into the class so that you can learn better and just so it's a nice feeling. So that's really nice. That's something that you will not get at any other campus because BYU is a private organization owned by the church. We can do things like that. So it's great. Number 10. BYU has a lot of high-ranking programs. One of the programs it's most known for is accounting. It also has an amazing business program. They have really good dance programs offered. Their entrepreneur program is really good as well, and their music program as well. There are a lot of others that are pretty top-notch, but a lot of their majors are just really good, and people look for graduates from BYU in that major, and they sometimes get precedence in certain majors, not all of them. But there are a lot of good majors. It's not just that you're coming to BYU because you want, to be cheaper or the other reasons. It can be that it has a really good program that you're interested in. Number 14, every Tuesday night is club night. So that means you go to the Wilk or to whichever building it is that your club meets, and you just do things with your club. They have swing dancing, Latin dancing, a lot of just different dance clubs. They have language clubs. They have martial arts clubs, science clubs, clubs for basically anything you could imagine. So you should definitely find out what clubs match your interest and join some, because it's a great way to meet people and it's just a really fun thing to do on Tuesday nights. Number 15, BYU offers independent study options for a lot of classes. So if you're not able to be attending class, in one semester, you can take classes online if you're traveling somewhere, or if it's just not realistic to be going to classes in person. You can take online classes and get the same sort of credit, and it's a really nice option to have. Number 16, the Cougar Eat cafeteria has a lot of really good food. So they have an Aloha Plate, a Subway, a Taco Bell, a Chick-fil-A, Papa John's, Cougar Cafe, Scoreboard Grill, Cougar Express, L&T, and Grab and Go. So, of course, that's not a huge selection compared to what there is in Provo, but for being just in the middle of campus, it's a pretty good selection. So if you need to grab lunch, you can go there, grab something. The Grab and Go is really nice because they have the restaurants where you order the food, but then you can just go to the Grab and Go where they have pre-made Subway sandwiches. They have some fruit bowls, just things that you can grab and go. And so you grab one, pay for it, and you go. So that's really nice if you're in a rush. You can still stop and grab lunch. Number 17, undergrads get a lot of hands-on experience at BYU. In some other schools where their grad programs are their focus, the grad students are getting more of a priority for this hands-on experience. But at BYU, there aren't as many grad students, and there's more of a focus on the undergrads and how they can be prepared to actually go out and do things. So I'm sure you can find this at other colleges as well, but for the majority of colleges, it's not going to be as hands-on for undergrads as it will be at BYU. Teachers really like to involve the students in research, and there's a lot of options to really get the experience before going out into your field. Number 18, BYU is a cheap place to go to college. It only costs $5,620 to go here per semester if you're not a member of the church. If you are a member of the church, it cuts in half to $2,810 per semester. That's a lot less than some of the other places you could be going to college, where you're looking at $10,000 per semester if you're lucky. So this is a way cheaper option. It is increasing by about $80 per year, the tuition is, so it's not going to stay at that flat rate of what I just said. It is going to be increasing a little, but it's still a lot better than some of the other options out there. Number 19, you're required to take religion classes at BYU, and these religion classes are taught by some great professors. So we've got some really well-known professors. We have John By the Way, Hank Smith, and Brad Wilcox, and they are all very popular church speakers. They're all very funny, very entertaining. And then we've also got some really good teachers that are just known in the university. So there's Dr. Anthony Sweat. He's one of the really good teachers they have. There are a lot of others. Griffins. There's countless amazing religion teachers. So this is a really cool place to go study religion, learn about the Book of Mormon, learn about the Old Testament, the New Testament, church history, even just family history, and you have amazing teachers to guide you through it. Number 20, if you like sports, BYU could be the place for you. They have a lot of classes for sports. They have like beginning volleyball, intermediate volleyball, advanced volleyball, and so on. And then they have it for a lot of different sports. They also have intramural teams, so you can get a group together to be on a team for whatever sport you choose. So say it's basketball, you'll get your basketball team together, you'll sign up as an intramural team, and then you'll go against other teams. They have a bracket, you see who wins. It's a way to play sports without actually being professional about it, without having to dedicate your life to it. So there's a lot of fun things you can do with sports on BYU campus. Number 21, the landscaping around BYU is beautiful. This has a lot to do with BYU grounds, who they do all of the planting and the weeding and the mowing and just make it a really beautiful campus. But it's just the landscaping around BYU is beautiful, and it's right next to mountains, which makes it even more beautiful because you've got the campus and then in the background there's the mountains. It's just a beautiful place to go to school. Number 22, BYU has a lot of really fun classes in addition to the classes you need for your major. So they have classes like yoga, scuba diving, ice skating, weaving. They also have a class that's a service class where basically your homework is to go out and serve people, and you're getting credit for it, which is super awesome. They also have self-defense, which is a pretty high demand class there. It's really good. You learn a lot and it's very useful. And then they also have like stage makeup, and these are just barely brushing the surface. They have so many just fun classes that you can take if you're looking for fun electives. BYU has a lot of them. Number 23, there are a lot of museums and things to see around BYU campus. So first of all, we have the Eyring Science Center, and it does have classes there, but they also have a lot of cool exhibits for BYU students, for families who want to just come, who aren't at all connected to BYU. It's open to anyone. They have really cool experiments you can see. It's just a cool place to go, the Eyring Science Center. They also have the MOA, the Museum of Art, and they have really cool exhibits there, a lot. They've had originals from very famous artists, and they sometimes have these performances put on that are just free. You can go. They have choir concerts, really nice exhibits. It's just a cool place to go, especially if you're into art. But even if you're not, there's something there that will interest you because it's so unique and awesome. And then they've also got the Bean Museum, which was just recently remodeled. So now it's a completely different building than it was recently. So it's really, really good, really new. A cool place to visit. So yeah, those are just 3 of the many places you can visit around BYU, but they are pretty great. Number 24, in the BYU library, they have a multimedia lab. So this is where you can go, you can rent cameras, you can shoot film, come back, they have Final Cut Pro, you can edit it on the computers, export them. It's just really good, especially if you're into filmmaking or you just want to take nice pictures or do anything with like media. It's a really nice resource. I think you have to be a student for most of it. I think that there are places in the library that you can go and use this equipment if you're not a student, but for most of it, it's for students. So this is something you should definitely take advantage of if you are a student. And while you're a student, use it because it's an awesome resource. Number 25, there are a lot of really cool shows to go see on BYU campus that feature students like you. So most of these cost. There are some free shows, but they are definitely worth it. We have men's chorus and women's chorus, some singing groups, university chorale. There's also one of the best things that they have is BYU's Divine Comedy, which is a comedy troupe that, if you're familiar with Studio C, they kind of started Studio C, and then that cast of Divine Comedy went off and created Studio C, and Divine Comedy kept getting new people. So it's really entertaining, fun to go, fun date night. Then they also have just the shows the theater does. They have dance concerts, a lot of really cool things to go see. So if you are an appreciator of performances, this is a good place to go. I hope you enjoyed that video. Did we miss anything? If you went to BYU, let us know what you think in the comments below. What are some of BYU's best kept secrets? If you're interested in learning more about BYU, check out our website. It's lifey.org/Brigham-Young-University. And there we have the rest of the survey responses, and there's just some more helpful information if you're interested in learning more. So we'll put a link to that in the description below. Definitely check it out. Thanks for watching.